What's up, everybody, and welcome back to All the Things Sort of Truth, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sort of Truth series with a crucible of craft brew on the side. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade.
And this week we're going to be talking about Chapter 24 of Wizard's First Rule.
Well, we don't have any new news this week, so we're just going to get right to it. It's such a fun chapter. I don't know if any of you remember, but
yeah,
it's super great.
Tons of laughs. Good time had by all, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing we're drinking.
Yeah, I'd say. Let's get right into child murder, shall we?
Yeah. We're going to go hang out with Darken Rahl and Carl. We know Demon grabbed him, right?
Yeah.
But we don't really know how he did it. If it was like, hey kid, you want some candy? Or here's a free bike? Or just up and grabbed him walking on the street. We have no idea.
All we know is that he made it so that no one will be looking for him.
Right. Yeah. That's just, it's so bad. But when this chapter starts, Carl has a wildly different attitude towards his parents. And it's mind-blowing because it's only a few days. And Darken Rahl has managed to turn this kid.
Right. But he's also been, keeping him up and sleep-depriving him and feeding him gruel.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he's coming about it honestly, but he's done a fucking number to this kid.
Yeah, he's pounded some ideas into his head.
It starts off like, fuck you, Mom and Dad. I'd rather be buried in this hole.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
My mom's selfish and she's an enemy of the people and fuck those people.
Right. Which is not the way an 8-9-year-old kid would talk.
No, he misses his mom. The last time we saw him, he was like, I just want to go home.
I want to hang out with my dog.
Yeah. Well, Carl's going on this rant about how his mom is such a giant piece of shit. Rahl is fantasizing about how tonight is the night. They're gonna do the thing.
The ceremony, Jade. That way it's special.
Well, before tonight, he decided to bring a chick to his bed to relieve some tension.
Well, he's stressed.
Well, he got to do a little murder, and I'm sure that relieved a little tension.
Little murder.
Yeah.
How do you do a little murder?
Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't think it was little. He said it was.
Was it a great big murder?
Yeah. So Darken Rahl starts smiling, thinking about the girl screaming. And he's brought back to reality by Carl being like, what the fuck are you smiling at? Because he's kind of talking about a serious topic.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't understand why Darken would be grinning at him like that. And Darken just tells him, well, it's because I'm proud of you. You're doing such a good job being buried in the hole.
He didn't want to tell him that there's people who are taking down the boundaries, that they're plotting an invasion, and Rahl's worried about his people and what these people are going to do to them. And so he's proud to have little Carl in the hole being such a little patriot.
Little patriot. And this is where it's weird. Like Stockholm Syndrome, is that what it is? A little bit? Where you're like, oh no, it's totally fine that I'm locked in here against my will, and I would rather stay than go.
Right.
Carl gets worried about Darken Rahl because he's out fighting all these, battles for honor and whatever for the people.
The people need him.
For the people. And so he's like, no, you should get me the fuck out of here so I can protect you. I want to be, what does he say? I want to stay at your side, and I'll do anything for you, and I love you. And super weird conversation happens between a man and a boy.
Right.
I know the kid is, buried, but all of that weirdness aside, just the conversation here is off. I don't think you get this from Tired.
Okay, it would be weird, but it wouldn't be as weird if Darken Rahl wasn't simultaneously getting pretty worked up. He's still... It gets a little murky, because he's thinking about the girl that he murdered and seemingly fucked. Okay, because he was gonna fuck her, but then she laughed. and then he murdered her. But I'm assuming he probably got it in at some point there.
Unfortunately, yes. You would assume that that's what happened.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the specifics. I'm just assuming at some point there that
Pre or
happened.
post, either way, he got his.
Yeah, he got what he needed. So...
Jeez. You fucking hate him so much.
So as he's talking to this kid, and as this kid's, like, expressing how worried he is and how much he wants to stay with Darken Rahl is, like, starting to pant.
It's getting all worked up.
Yeah.
Buddy, you okay?
Right. And so that turns this into a, like, what was a little uncomfortable into, like, a really uncomfortable moment. Because then the kid's like, I love you, I just want to stay with you. And this is obviously exactly what Darken Rahl needed.
Right.
Because he starts leading him down that, like, he's like zeroing in on the path here. He's like, it would be dangerous. Are you sure you want to do that? You don't want to be home with your dog? And Carl's like, no, I'll die for you, man. It doesn't matter. I could totally be killed saving you. Wouldn't even matter. Totally cool. You want to kill me? Just kidding. I'll die for you, though.
Yeah, Carl says, look, my life is yours. Do with it what you will, if you'll have it. He gives him the option, and Darken Rahl's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have it.
Except he says it all like weirdly formal, and it would have sent off alarm bells in my head.
I will have it.
Yeah. And then he gets up and walks away.
It was weird, and you would think that Carl would start to panic. But no, he's thoroughly been mind-fucked.
He's all in.
He's
like, when are we going to do the ceremony so I can fucking live here and be your lapdog? Let's go. And
God damn it, Carl.
Carl's like, I just gotta feed you, man. We can get right to it. And he stands up and he's super fucking turned on at this point. Okay? This is the return of Horny Terry.
Mm-hmm.
But weirdly, though, because I feel like it's placed in a strange place, but that's okay.
Terry's got a dark side.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it's okay, but it's a thing, okay?
It does exist. It's hard to read. We're grown-ass adults, and this is hard to read.
And you know how I get through it, though? I'm gonna keep drinking my beer.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're definitely drinking through this one.
So...
I'm sorry, I just read your note. Horny Terry and the murder of a child. God damn.
That's what this part of the chapter is called.
Oof.
If we were to name this chapter, that's what it should be called. So, okay, there's a lot of things that get real, like, phallic and weird, like, innuendo-y at this point, too.
Mm-hmm. A lot of symbolism going on.
Yeah. Darken puts the feeding horn by Carl's mouth, and, like, he's super aroused. So everything with the feeding horn and the mouth is just not okay anymore. Darken goes into the next room, and it's super hot in there, and there's a crucible in the fire. Has it been called a crucible this whole time?
No, I don't think so.
He just called it the gruel before, right?
Yeah.
I was going to look this up earlier.
I got you. A crucible is a ceramic or metal container in which metals or other substances may be melted or subjected to high temperatures, very high temperatures.
Oh, I've seen these before. Okay, I know what they are. This should have been like a for sure, hey, guess what's going to happen? Spoiler, guess what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's not a regular feeding cup or bowl. It's a crucible.
Right.
Which is made for a certain thing, like molten metal.
Or something of the sort.
Or something. Or something.
Well, Darken finds out that Demon is back, and he's like, hey, send him my way. And then get the fuck out. He takes the crucible. He prays to his dead dad's spirit.
Weird.
Yeah. And he does the licky thing again. He walks out into the sand with symbols on it. There's a green ring of grass, just like we've seen before. But now there's an altar with a wedge of white stone. There's polished stone block holding an iron bowl with a shinga on the lid. We don't know what a shinga is yet. Darken asks Carl if he is sure. Can he trust him with his life? Carl's like, yeah, man, I swear, I'm yours forever, alright?
I'll marry you. What?
Rahl's super sweaty at this point.
Weird.
Yeah. The crucible is like super hot.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And he starts chanting incantations and spells. His back is like arching. Power that surged, taking him with hot promise. And he has wanton passion in his eyes.
Wonton?
Yeah, it says wanton passion. That's why I wrote it that way.
What does that mean? Because when I just now typed wonton, Google assumes I'm looking for soup.
Or wonton wrappers. I like
That's,
those.
I
They're
mean,
yummy.
that's...
No.
What kind of passion are we
No.
talking about here?
No, wonton definition. I got you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It's an adjective. A wanton action deliberately causes harm, damage, or waste without having any reason to.
So it's like reckless passion.
If someone describes a woman as wanton, they disapprove of her because she clearly enjoys sex or has sex with a lot of men.
Whore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wants bad.
Yeah, he's horny as fuck. And then he goes into looking Carl in the eyes with this wanton passion and huskily whispering that he loves him. Put your mouth on the horn and hold tight.
I'd like to get out of the hole now, please. I want to go back to the original plan of going home. Is that still on the table? Because this is weird.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, come on.
I mean, even if he's been brainwashed a little bit by fatigue and I'm assuming starvation, he feeds them, but I don't know.
It's gruel.
Maybe not. That's the one thing. Well, yeah, but it tastes good. It's good as fuck.
Yeah. That blueberry
So maybe
pie.
he's not starving, but he's definitely immobile. He's just there. He's not able to leave.
Mm.
This is still an extreme turnaround.
Yeah.
It's more than just being a little delirious. He's worked this kid over mentally with his words.
Yes.
He has had an experience.
Yes.
Carl is a fucking believer now.
Yes, he is. Rahl chants the last thing he has to and dumps the contents into the horn. And Carl's eyes open and he freaks out when he realizes that it's molten lead hitting his throat. Isn't that fun?
You know, when I read this book for the first time and I read this chapter, this is a no shit, actual, real story. I closed the book. I walked out to you. You were in the living room. And I looked at you and I said, Jade, what the fuck? I can remember this like yesterday. And you're like, where are you? And I was like, Carl just fucking died, man. She's like, oh yeah, isn't that fucked up? It gets so much worse.
Yeah. Isn't this a fun book?
I mean, okay, I have knowledge of characters later in the series, but Darken Rahl is my number one hated bad guy.
Oh.
Yes. I hate him the most.
I might have to, I don't know that I've thought about who my worst bad guy is.
I mean, this with Carl is sickening. And I know that we're not going to get into him now. Maybe this would be a good Patreon episode. But
Yeah.
like Darken Rahl just is a special kind of twisted that I'm just like, oh, fuck that guy, you know? I hate him. That's why he's a good villain.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, he's not super monologue-y, obviously, because he just goes ahead and murders the kid. Darken Rahl's shuddering as he keeps saying spells to send his soul to the underworld. We're talking about Carl's, because, he died.
Right, yeah, well, yeah.
Surprise.
He just gets to hang out now that the ceremony's done, right?
Yeah, well...
He just
Not
gets to
exactly.
come and go as he pleases, and they're gonna just a couple of dudes ruling the world together, right?
Well... Not today.
Damn it. Well,